You've probably got a course created or at least an idea for a course, and you want to know how to sell it online. Well, that's the whole point of why I produce YouTube channels for my clients. We turn these YouTube channels into lead generation machines for them so that they can sell their courses and other programs, and I'm going to break that down in this episode.
I'm excited to talk to Nate today about how to make money selling courses online because, Nate, you have several clients who you produce their YouTube channels for who make a lot of money selling their courses online. So first question is, what kind of expertise do you need to be able to sell a course?
Well, that's a really good question. I think if you have experience, then you have expertise. And if you have expertise, you can create a course. But what I found is a lot of people don't have that confidence. They think, oh, well, I've got to, be a professional. I've got to have a business license. I've got to have a logo. And who knows what the reality of that is or if it's all in our head. But the other question could be how much money are you going to charge for it? If you haven't ever done it before, can you get away with selling a $5,000 course? Probably not. A friend of mine, John Jonas, his son learned how to do some sales online, right? To kind of find a product and create a website and sell it. And he made a course. He sold it for $17. The course is how to do this type of sales online. And yeah, he learned how to do something, and then he made a course showing other people how to do it. So, you could sell anything for $17.
Yeah, that's amazing. Love to see that kind of fire and spark out of a kid, right? What is there a specific length when you're going to shoot a course? How long should it be?
Long enough, okay? Long enough to do what you promise. So when you look at a course, instead of looking at it well, I want a course that's worth $1,000. I want to be able to charge $1,000. So how long does it need to be? That's the wrong question. The right question is, what should the people be able to do by the end of the course? Or what will they be able to accomplish? What will it deliver? What will it transform in them? And that's how you just determine what the cost or the value of the course is, right? So if it needs to be 3 hours of videos plus all these assignments in between for them to get a certain outcome, right? So that's more of an outcome-based approach versus a feature. The length is a feature. If people were trying to sell features, it's well, my course is 4 hours, so you should buy mine is 5. So, it needs to be long enough to deliver something.
Are people really willing to pay big money? You see some of these courses that are tens of thousands of dollars. More than the cost of college tuition. Paying this type of money instead of investing in, traditional education.
Well, I think you've touched on a good point that really emphasizes the point I made of selling an outcome. Because school or university, or you're going to get a degree, that's a number, that's a stat, that's a benchmark, but it's not based on an outcome. It's not there are some, if you're going to go to a dental school or a medical school and get a degree or a law degree or something, that has an outcome, but those schools definitely cost a lot more. When somebody has a $10,000 course, or I sell a $100,000 program, why are people willing to invest in that program? It's because of the result that program delivers. And if you have a track record saying, look at all these people that spent this $10,000 for this course, and look at these testimonials, look what they were able to do. And, if it's a person, if it's just a consumer that's looking to buy something, that's a lot of money. But if it's a business and they can turn that $10,000 into $100,000 because of what they learn here, it's totally worth it. And that's why people will spend money like that in a heartbeat.
Yeah. What are some of the best ways to market a course once you've got it?
Well, I'm biased. You can do any types of advertising. The type of YouTube channels that I build work so well to sell a course. They work so well, but the disadvantage is it takes time. So if you have a course ready today and you start a YouTube channel with my strategy, you're not going to sell any courses on day one or in month one. You might start getting a trickle, but if you're starting at 0 subscribers, you don't have a following, you don't have an audience yet, you've got this amazing course, it's going to take at least 4 months, in my experience, for you to really start getting any momentum. And it's going to take a full year before you're really making the big bucks. Like you're jumping for joy, like, man, this is the best thing I could have ever done. Now, comparing that to advertising, like you're going to pay for Facebook ads. You can have a course, you can pay for ads, send money right to a sales page, and you can make sales now. So that's awesome. That works fast, and you can tweak that and fine tune it. But if you do that and you do it concurrently with YouTube, your YouTube channel will eventually bring you such valuable leads, way more valuable leads than you'll ever get from paid traffic. Some people would even turn off their paid ads. It really depends on what you want, because the leads that you get from YouTube, it's like there's already a relationship there. It's like these are referral quality leads. So they close a lot easier. You're not having to sort through and filter the right clients. These are your target audience. And often they'll move a lot higher up your value ladder than the paid traffic that you get. You don't, the percentages are much higher with the YouTube leads.
So is a course the best way to monetize a YouTube channel?
Well, I have a bias, and let me share where the bias comes from. So Chris Crone is the first channel that I started implementing my full strategy. And we built the channel to a great amount of momentum. There were lots of comments on there saying, hey, Chris, how can I work with you? Do you have any programs? Do you have any courses? Do you offer coaching? How can I learn real estate investing from you? So there was so much interest. And yet what he was selling at the time is he wanted people to come to Utah to attend his 3-day event. And at the end of these 3-day events, people would have had such a good experience. He would then offer his high-priced programs and they would buy. But the YouTube audience was not coming to Utah. I think in the previous year when we were having this conversation, he had one person.
Wow.
So with all this interest on YouTube, he had one client. And so we had talked a lot like, Chris, you need to create a course, something that they can just buy and have without having to travel. Well, it took 6 months from that first conversation before he finally launched a course. It was a 6-figure month. It was $1,000 course, and he sold over 100 of them.
Wow.
Right? So he made over $100,000 in that first month. Month 2 was about $60,000. Month 3 was about $60,000. And during that time, he was tweaking the landing pages, just doing split testing and whatnot. And so like in month 4 and onwards, it just started climbing back up. Couple things that I learned from that experience is courses are much easier to sell than travel or big ticket items or events or something like that. But then 2 years later, I was having a conversation with Chris, and he told me that he had just put on an event. There were 250 people in attendance. This was pre-COVID, okay? 250 people were there. And he said, I can't remember if it was 90 or 95, so we'll just say 90. He said 90% of the people there were because of YouTube. They had traveled out of state to come to the event.
Wow.
So that's cool. But his channel was at a much bigger place. And so it took an extra 2 years to get to that point. Courses are going to be a way that you can monetize your YouTube channel a lot faster, but you can lead into other things. And I'll share with you another quick example. So Paul Jenkins, he's an expert on positivity. He's a positivity psychologist. He's an expert on relationships and an expert on parenting. Parenting is the first topic that really took off on his channel. And by the way, to back up, like he made a big part of his living when I started with him through public speaking. He'd be hired to go do keynote speeches in addition to coaching that he provided. Well, parenting really took off on his channel, so he created a parenting course. And he started making money right off the bat because it was an easy thing to sell from YouTube. But about 20 months in, the YouTube channel started getting him keynote speaking engagements. And the reason that we know that they came from YouTube is his wife, who's also a parenting expert, but has never done any coaching or speaking. When they called up Paul to schedule to hire him for the keynote, they said, we want you to bring Vicky too. Because she had been in a lot of his parenting videos and stuff. Yeah. So just kind of a lot of benefits that come from this YouTube strategy. And that's why I think creating a course is one of the best ways, because it's what you can monetize the fastest.
So I want to get down into some of the nitty gritty details of actually creating the course, because obviously if you don't have a course, you can't sell it anywhere. So do you need to hire like a professional, production company to come in and shoot the course and edit it for you?
On that one, I would typically say, yeah, just because you want it to be professional, the more money you pay for it, you really want it to look sharp. I talk a lot of times about your episodes on your YouTube channel. You can just film with your iPhone. face a window. I talk about have it close to you so the audio sounds good. But if people are paying a premium for these videos, you do want it to come across as looking professional.
Yeah, and what about hosting? Are there places online? Like, what's the best way to deliver the product itself once you have it?
Well, people have that question, like, could I host them on YouTube? And we all know that YouTube is an amazing resource for free content. So we typically don't pay for that. You can set those videos to private or unlisted, right? Or there's Vimeo. I think that's really the only value I see in a platform like Vimeo is if you have a course, you can host it there. But nowadays, most course platforms, like the one that I use is Thinkific, I can just upload my videos natively right to Thinkific. I don't have to host them on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that. So you've got a lot of options.
So paint the whole picture for me, Nate. So how do you sell a course from a single YouTube video?
It's a really good question because we're not actually doing a sales pitch in the video. The video itself is not a commercial. We're answering questions, right? So these are how-to videos that build a relationship, and there's nothing sold. And we get to the end of the video, and now that we've built this relationship of trust, we give them a free gift. So we give them even more value. We say, hey, now that you've learned A, B, and C, would you like to learn even more? I want to give you a free gift, whether that's a book that you're giving away or something like that. Go ahead and click the link below and you can get access to that for free.
Yeah.
So when people click, they go to that page, they fill out their name and their email or whatever they need to get their free gift. And then there's this thank you page, and that's where you can put a promo video. And they're on your website. They expect to see promotional material there. Also, they're on your email list. And so they're going to get, you can continue to build that relationship through email, and then you send them a promotion email that takes them to another landing page that sells your course, or if your lead magnet requires them to give you your phone number, you call them on the phone. Or oftentimes you can have, a little form saying, hey, would you like to schedule a 30-minute strategy session? Go ahead and fill this form out. So just by them coming to get the lead magnet, you're starting to get appointments and leads that way, and that's where the sale happens. Now, one of the best examples that I have of a client of mine making money from selling courses online is Noelle Randall. I'm going to link to a video right here that she and I filmed together. I interviewed her about her experience in using my strategy and how she did it to sell so many courses. Go watch that one right now.